Cupid gifted me his cute elf for Valentine's. Now, I'm begging him to stay. February 1st, 12 a.m. I sigh, staring at the ceiling of my dimly lit apartment. Another Valentine's Day coming up, and once again, I'll be spending it alone. Big surprise. I roll onto my side, scrolling through my phone mindlessly. Happy couples, romantic date ideas, cheesy love quotes. Ugh. I toss my phone onto my nightstand and rub my face. Alright, fine, I mumbled to no one in particular. If there's some magical force out there, Cupid, just for once, let me have someone for this Valentine. I feel ridiculous, but whatever. It's not like anyone's listening. Closing my eyes, I let out another breath. Maybe love just isn't in the cards for me. The clock hits midnight. Nothing happens. No magical spark, no grand sign, just silence. Yeah, I muttered, pulling the blanket over my head. Didn't think so. I fell asleep, completely unaware of what's about to come. The next morning, I wake up to something tickling my face. It's soft, almost like a feather brushing against my cheek. Half asleep, I groaned and swatted it, but the sensation doesn't stop. But then I hear a chuckle, a very amused, very real chuckle. My eyes snap open. There, sitting on the edge of my bed, is a man. No, scratch that. An elf? A tall, gorgeous elf, with golden blonde hair, deep blue eyes, and long pointed ears. He's leaning over me, twirling a strand of my hair between his fingers, smirking like he knows something I don't. Morning, sleepyhead, he says, his voice smooth and teasing. I bolt upright so fast I nearly headbutt him. Who the hell are you? He tilts his head unfazed. I'm Rio. Cupid sent me. I blink. What? He grinned. Cupid. You know, little guy, wings, bow and arrow. That Cupid. You made a wish for love, right? Well, congratulations. Your request has been processed, approved, and delivered. He gestured to himself. I'm your gift. I stare at him. Then I look around my room, half expecting a camera crew to jump out and yell, "Gotcha!" But no, just me. My messy apartment. A very smug-looking elf sitting on my bed like he owns the place. You're kidding? Nope. He wiggles his hair, pointed his ears to prove his authenticity. You wished for love. I'm here to keep you company until Valentine's Day. I ran a hand through my hair, trying to process. Right, so what? You're like, my temporary boyfriend? Rio hums. More like your charming magical companion. But if you want to call me your boyfriend, I won't stop you. He winks. This cannot be real. I must still be dreaming. Okay, I said slowly. Let's say I believe you. What exactly am I supposed to do with you? Rio leans in, resting his chin on his hand. Well, Ethan, you could start by making me breakfast. A few minutes later, I close my eyes. Nope, not dealing with this. This is obviously some weird, overly vivid dream. If I just go back to sleep, I'll wake up in normal reality. Alone, like always. I pull the blanket over my head and he mumbles. Not real. Just a dream? A second later, the blanket is yanked off me. Oh, come on, Rio says, exasperated. Ignoring me won't make me disappear. I cracked one eye open. He's still there, perched on my bed, his deep blue eyes practically twinkling with amusement. I groaned and sit up. Okay, let's pretend for a second that this is real. I wish for true love, not some temporary customer service elf. Rio gasped, placing a hand over his chest, like I insulted his entire existence. Excuse me? First of all, rude. Second, you should have been more specific. You asked for someone for Valentine's Day, and here I am. He gestured dramatically to himself. I pinched the bridge of my nose. Right, well, in that case, I don't want you. You can go. Rio shakes his head. No can do. Cupid's orders. I stay till Valentine's Day. I groan. Fantastic. So, I'm stuck with a hot, smug elf who thinks he's a gift from Cupid? Exactly, Rio grins. Glad you're catching on. I flop back onto the bed. Kill me. Rio pats my shoulder. Now, we've got 2 whole weeks together. Who knows? Maybe you'll fall for me by then. I snort. Yeah, sure. He winks. We'll see. The next morning, I shuffle into the kitchen, still half asleep, only to find all my coffee mugs floating in midair. I blink. Nope! I turn around, ready to walk straight back to bed. Rio appears in front of me with a smug grin, blocking my way. Oh, come on, Ethan. This is the best part of waking up. He snaps his fingers, and a mug of steaming coffee levitates towards me. I hesitate to take it, narrowing my eyes. Did you poison this? Rio gasped, clutching his chest. Wow, so little trust. I take a sip. It's perfect. Like the best cup of coffee I've ever had. Rio smirks. You're welcome. I roll my eyes but keep drinking. All right, I'll admit. This is a tiny bit convenient. Rio claps his hands. See? I'm a gift. I snort. Don't push it. He grins. Too late. Later that night, I start with a movie. Just a casual, totally normal movie night. I don't even know how it happened. One second, Rio's sitting way too close. And the next second, he's somehow draped across my couch like he owns the place. I ignore him, mostly. You're so stiff, Rio complains, stretching his legs out until his feet are practically in my lap. Because someone keeps invading my personal space, I grumbled, shoving his feet away. Rio just smirks and shifted even closer. You're acting like I bite. I gave him a look. You do bite. You literally bit my shoulder yesterday. That was one time. It was not. He rolls his eyes and turns back to the screen. The movie's some mindless action flick, but halfway through, I realize Rio isn't watching at all. He's been leaning against my shoulder, his body warm against mine. I freeze. What are you doing? Getting comfortable. He shifts slightly, resting more of his weight on me. Should I tell him to move? I really should, but I don't. Instead, I let out a slow breath and stay still, pretending I don't notice the way my heartbeat picks up. Minutes pass, and he doesn't move. His breathing evens out, and when I glance down at him, his eyes are half-lidded soft and peaceful. I should be annoyed. I should shove him off, but all I do is sigh and adjust slightly. Just enough, so he's really comfortable. See? Rio mumbles sleepily. Told you this was nice. I rolled my eyes, but I didn't push him away. Yeah, I muttered. But secretly, he was right. The next morning, I stumbled into the kitchen, still groggy from sleep, only to stop dead in my tracks. Rio is standing by the counter humming to himself, flipping pancakes like he owns the place. In my shirt, and nothing else. The fabric hangs loosely off his frame, one shoulder completely exposed. It's long enough to cover most of him, but his bare legs are right there. And, yeah, I need coffee before I can process this. I rub my face. Is that my shirt? Rio doesn't even turn around. Maybe? I groaned, heading for the coffee maker. Why? He finally looks over his shoulder, smirking. Because I look good in it. I open my mouth, then shut it. Damn it. He's not wrong. Seriously, I muttered, pouring my coffee. You have your own clothes. Rio shrugs, flipping another pancake effortlessly. But yours smell like you. I nearly choke on my drink. Excuse me? He grins, completely unbothered. What? It's comforting. You should be honored. I pinch the bridge of my nose. You're impossible. And yet, you're still keeping me around. He slides a plate of pancakes towards me, winking. Admit it, you'd miss me. I snort, grabbing a fork. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, shirt thief. He's just laughing, sitting across from me, chin resting on his hand. You like this? I roll my eyes. I tolerate this. He smirks. Uh-huh. I take a bite of pancakes. Damn, they're good. And avoid his gaze. Maybe I do like this. Just a little. Later that afternoon, it starts raining out of nowhere. 1 second, Rio and I are walking back from the store, bags in hand. And next, downpour. I groan. Perfect. Just perfect. Rio, on the other hand, laughs. Like getting soaked is the most fun thing in the world. Oh, come on, Ethan. Live a little. I glare at him. I'm living and currently drowning. He rolls his eyes and then snaps his fingers. Suddenly the rain stops. At least, around us. A perfect dry circle follows us like an invisible umbrella. I blink, Okay, that's actually useful. Rio smirks. I'm always useful. We keep walking, but something feels different. Streetlights reflect in his deep blue eyes, his golden hair damp and messy. And I catch myself staring. He notices. What? He teased, leaning in. Falling for me already? I scoff. Heart racing. In your dreams. But I don't deny it. Next morning, I don't know why I let Rio cook. Maybe I was getting too tired to argue. Maybe I was distracted by how ridiculously cute he looks. Sleeves rolled up, hair tied back, pretending he knew what he was doing. I regretted immediately. Rio, the pancakes are on fire. He gasped dramatically. They are not. They literally are on fire. Rio turns to look. The pan is indeed flaming. He yelps, waving his hand. The fire vanishes instantly. But the pancakes are now charcoal. I sigh. Well, we tried. Rio pouts. Don't I get points for effort? I huff a laugh. Sure, 1 solid point. He glares. You're impossible. Yeah. I grab a slice of leftover pizza and toss him one. Stick to magic. I'll handle the cooking. He grins. Deal. And just like that, sitting together, laughing over burnt pancakes, I feel it. This warmth. This something I don't want to lose. We're sitting on the couch, late at night. Some random movie's playing in the background. I'm not even watching it. All I see is him, Rio stretched out beside me, head resting on his hand, looking at me like he's studying me. What? I suddenly ask, self-conscious. He shrugs. You're just interesting. I snort. That's one way to put it. He shifts closer, eyes flickering to my lips. Just for 1 second, my heart stops. Is he going to? My breath catches. He leans in, slowly, carefully, like he was waiting for me to pull away. I don't. Then, bang! The neighbors upstairs drop something loud and I jump. Rio sighs, flopping back. Your timing is terrible. I laugh, mostly to cover how fast my heart is beating. Blame the neighbors. He huffs, but he's smiling, and I know, deep down, that this isn't over. Not even close. A few days later, Rio was acting weird. Well, weirder than usual. We're sitting down on the couch, some random show playing, but he's not watching it. Instead, he's staring at me, twirling that dainty golden earring of his between his fingers. I glance over. What? He tilts his head. Nothing, just thinking. Aha, that's never a good sign. He smirks, but he doesn't tease me like he usually would. Instead, he shifts, turning towards me fully. Ethan, have you ever thought about what happens after Valentine's Day? I pause. What do you mean? I mean, what if you didn't have to be alone? He holds my gaze. Something unreadable in his expression. What if the answer has been in front of you this whole time? I frown. Okay, that's cryptic. You've been reading fortune cookies again. Rio groans, flopping back against the couch. You are so dense. Excuse me? He sighs, rubbing his temples. Nothing. Forget it. I roll my eyes. Oh sure, let me ignore the super dramatic lead-up. He looks at me again, something almost hopeful in his expression. Like he's waiting for me to get it, but I don't. Not yet. Instead I scoff. You need to chill. He groans and mutters. I swear Cupid sent me to the most oblivious human alive. I don't know why, but that comment made my chest feel weird, like I'm missing something important. Later that night, the city stretches out below us, a blur of twinkling lights and distant car horns. It's late. It's too late for deep thoughts. But here we are, standing on my tiny balcony, like we do most nights now. Rio leans against the railing, his blonde hair catching the glow of the streetlights. He looks beautiful. And not that I'd ever say that out loud. Do you regret it? He asks suddenly. I frown. Regret what? Wishing for someone. His voice quieter than usual, almost careful. I hesitate. No, I don't. He hums, but he doesn't look at me. Then what's stopping you? Something in my chest tightens. What do you mean? Rio finally turns his head, and his deep blue eyes pin me in place. You like me? It's not a question. I see it, Ethan. Do you want me to leave? My throat goes dry. He's not wrong, but saying it out loud, that makes it real. That makes it dangerous. I swallow. You're full of yourself. He chuckles, but there's no teasing in his expression. You always do that. Do what? Deflect. I look away. It doesn't matter. It does to me. His voice is softer now. I grip the railing. Say it. Just say it. But the words stick in my throat. Because if I say it, and he will disappear on Valentine's Day, what then? Rio sighs. You're impossible, but there's no heat in it. Just something sad. Then he steps closer. So close I feel his warmth. For a second, I think he's going to kiss me. I almost let him, but instead he pulls away, whispering, "Good night, Ethan," before vanishing into the apartment. I let out a shaky breath. Coward. The next day, there's this weird tension between us now. It's not like we're fighting. We still joke, still tease, still spend every second together. But something's off. Rio's quieter. He doesn't flirt as much, doesn't push me like he used to. And me, I pretend I don't notice, because if I do, I might have to face the truth I've been avoiding. That I don't want him to go. No, I can't go there. Because if I admit it, and he still disappears on Valentine's Day, then what? What happens to me? I can't risk that kind of heartbreak. But Rio is looking at me now, deep blue eyes searching, like he's waiting for something, hoping for it. I force a smirk. You're getting sentimental on me, elf. He exhales a laugh, but it doesn't reach his eyes. Maybe. He hesitates, finger playing with his earring, like they always do when he's nervous. I could say something. I should say something, but instead I stretch, a fake yawn, and stand. I'm gonna crash. Long day. Rio nods, but I see a flicker of disappointment before he turns away. Yeah. Night, Ethan. I linger, watching him for a second too long. He looks sad. I don't know why, but it makes my chest ache. I should fix this soon. Say something, but I don't. I walk away instead. 3 days later, I'm sitting on the couch, running my hands through my hair, trying to make sense of it all. Something's been off with Rio lately, and I can't shake the feeling that he's pulling away. He's not teasing me as much. He's been more quiet, like he's lost in his own thoughts. And maybe, I've been too scared to admit it, but I feel it too. I'm falling for him. But what if I'm imagining things? What if he's just here to help me open up to someone else? I shake my head, trying to push the thought away, but then I hear Rio's voice from behind me. You know, Ethan. I turn around, suddenly nervous. What? He's standing there, packing his things. It's time for me to go. My stomach drops. What? Why? He avoids my gaze, biting his lip. But he chooses his words carefully. I think you're ready for love, Ethan. You've opened your heart. I've helped you find it. I blink. What are you talking about? You can't just leave. I have to. He looks at me now, his deep blue eyes full of something that feels like goodbye. You don't need me anymore. My chest tightens, the weight of his words sinking in. I thought maybe he felt the same. But now it all clicks into place. He wasn't meant for me. He was just here helping me find love with someone else. I tried to swallow the lump in my throat. I don't want you to leave. Rio smiles sadly. But you don't need me to stay. I wish I could tell him the truth. But it's too late. Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day. And I've already messed it all up. I've been running around all morning, searching everywhere for Rio. I checked the cafe we went to last week, the park where we took that stupid selfie, even the store we bought snacks in. Nothing. No sign of him anywhere. I keep telling myself it's fine, that maybe he's just taking his time. But deep down, I know that he's gone. I don't know what to do. My chest is tight. like someone's squeezing the air out of me, and I can't get a single breath in. This isn't just about losing an elf. This is about losing someone who actually made me feel alive. I stand in the middle of the park, frustrated and helpless, feeling like the biggest idiot. Why didn't I say it sooner? Why did I wait until the last minute to admit how much I needed him? It's too late now. Defeated, I started walking home, every step heavier than the last. My feet drag, and I don't even notice how quiet the streets are. When I finally get back to my apartment, I don't even bother turning on the lights. I just drop my bag by the door and sink onto the couch. And then I see it, his earring, the one with the tiny heart-shaped droplet hanging from it. It's on the coffee table, like he left it there on purpose. My heart stops, and I reach for it, my fingers trembling. He's gone. I let out a shaky breath, and tears coming before I even realize it. I love you, I whispered, my voice breaking. I love you, Rio. I didn't want you to leave. I just want you. I want us. I wipe away my eyes, feeling like I've lost everything. But then, I hear a soft chuckle. Guess I'm not going anywhere. A few minutes later, I can't believe it. Rio's standing there, right in front of me, looking like he's been there the whole time. Like everything's okay. Like he didn't just disappear. You're still here. I can barely get the words out. Rio grins, a mischievous glint back in his eyes. Did you really think I'd leave? I didn't know how to answer that. Because honestly, for a minute I thought I'd lost him. He steps closer, kneeling down beside me on the couch, a damn golden earring of his shining in the soft light of the room. For a moment there, I thought I'd lost you, he said, as if he could read my thoughts. Rio, I gave you so many hints, dummy. All you had to do was accept your feelings for me, and I'd be yours forever. Like I'm now. His smile softens. For the first time in what feels like forever, I don't have to wonder. He steps closer, kneeling down beside me on the couch, that damn golden earring of his shining in the soft light of the room. His smile softens. And for the first time in what feels like forever, I don't have to wonder. I love you, Ethan, he says. It's like the most natural thing in the world, like he's been waiting for me to say it first. I don't even hesitate anymore. I love you too, I reply, barely able to keep this smile off my face. I'm sorry it took me so long to admit it. Rio laughs, leaning in and brushing his lips against my cheek. It was so obvious. I thought you were going to say it 100 times. I roll my eyes, but I can't help the grin spreading across my face. I was not. You're just a cocky elf who thinks he's irresistible. Am I wrong? Rio teased, nudging my shoulder. I laugh. No, you're really not. We sit there for a long moment, just being. No more doubts, no more fears, just us. And then Rio stands up, pulling me with him. So how about a first real Valentine's Day together? I grin. Sounds perfect. And for the first time, I now know that everything is perfect. No matter what happens, we'll be okay because of this. Us. It's real. It's ours. And it's here to stay. 3 years later, it's Valentine's Day again. And this time, it's perfect. Rio and I are sitting on the couch, laughing over some stupid movies we've seen 100 times. And I can't help but smile. Because 3 years later, we're still here, together. He leans against me, resting his head on my shoulder, and I can feel the warmth of his body, the gentle rhythm of his breath. Nothing changed. We're still the same us. Just a little more comfortable, a little more sure of each other. I can't believe it's been 3 years, Rio says, looking up at me with those deep blue eyes. Feels like it was just yesterday you were freaking out over me leaving. I chuckle. You were pretty dramatic about it, you know. He grins, playfully nudging me. Me? You were the one acting like I was going to disappear. I laugh, but then I grow quiet, looking at him like I've never seen him before. It's not just my elf anymore. He's my person, and I can't imagine life without him. Rio notices the change in my expression. What's wrong? I take a deep breath, heart pounding, suddenly feeling like this moment is bigger than I ever expected. Nothing, I say, then pause. Actually, there's something. I pull out a small box from my pocket and show it to him. His eyes widen in surprise. Rio, I don't ever want to let you go. I want to be with you forever. Will you marry me? Rio's face softens, and for a moment, he's speechless. Then his grin, a mischievous spark in his eyes. About time, Ethan. And just like that, I know everything's going to be okay. Conclusion. Looking back, it's crazy to think about how it all started. Me making a wish, thinking I'd never get love, then boom, there's Rio turning my world upside down. I never expected a cute elf to change my life, but here we are. 3 years later, and I've never been happier. Sure, there were some bumps along the way, doubts and misunderstandings, but in the end, it was all worth it. I've learned that love isn't about perfection. It's about finding someone who makes everything feel right. Rio and I may have started out as a magical accident, but now we were exactly where we meant to be. I can't wait to see him, what the future holds for us. The end. What would you wish for this Valentine's? Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing to become a part of our Rainbow Force, and stay wholesome.